Hi, Gemini. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, it cannot be denied that May is ours. Alhamdulillah, it's wonderful. Let's go through why. Venus moves into our sign on the 23rd. I'm going to tell you the later part of the month, what's going to happen, so then we can jump to the beginning, so you know what not to do, but it makes sense that what you should do because you understand what happens later. We're going to Pulp Fiction this. Okay, all right. Venus moves into your sign on the 23rd. The sun moves into your sign on the 20th. Jupiter moves into our sign on the 25th. Now it's upsetting me that I use that Pulp Fiction reference because fuck Tarantino. Okay, anyway. From the 22nd to the 24th, Venus and Jupiter are conjunct in our sign. So let me read that again. The sun moves into Gemini on the 20th, Venus on the 23rd, Jupiter on the 25th. And as Venus is moving, as Jupiter is moving, they get real close to each other in our sign. Depends on what you want. If we're talking romance, let's talk romance first. Depends on what you want. If there is something that just you got over and now you're looking for something better, if you just want to have some fun, if you just want to start celebrating your season early, that's cool too. If you want to engage with someone from your past, you can do that. You can rekindle a connection, you can create a connection, you can outgrow a connection that like now you're like, oh wow, no, it's gonna be the summer. I am on a different vibe here, you know? Cool. Just be careful, because someone you want to rekindle a connection with, like, they might really be going through it. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. They might really be going through it, and you're, like, in the mood to party and have fun and, like, be wonderful. So if you are trying to rekindle a connection with someone from your past, just realize that since you guys haven't been talking or been together, like, they haven't been the happiest. So if you show up all like, hi, and how we can be when we want to have fun, which is almost always, you might find them in quite the opposite state. Let's say that. But that's okay. If you're into it, I'm into it. Okay. If you've been wondering about approaching somebody new, or there's somebody new on your radar, please make sure to check if, just observe them, because they might have some kind of like raging addiction that's societally accepted that you are not aware of at the moment. So before you try to talk to anybody, just watch them a little bit, because we are that sign that anyone we're with, it affects our life so much. We'll start building our lives around people very quickly, actually. If you fit and you're going the same speed as us, we can acclimate to your presence really easily. Whenever Gemini's like, oh, I can't find time, or it's not that they can't find time. They're just on a different speed from you. If you're a cross watcher. Queen of Cups. Yeah, this is our energy. Jupiter and Venus conjunct in our sign. This is our energy. We are up for the love, for the good time, for the receiving of wealth and goodness and friendship and love and good times. And like, we're up for all of it. We want it all. We are in receiving mode, when we feel like we are doing good, we look good, we're doing right by our friends, by our family, we got a hold on everything, why not? Why not be receptive and assured somehow deep in your being that good things are happening for you? Good things are coming. It's hard to not be infected by our enthusiasm right now. We're contagious in our positivity because we can just feel it. We can feel it on the air. Okay? So if you are thinking of approaching someone, if you've peeped them and they seem cool and they seem like the type of person who likes to have a good time, just not too much of a good time, then you should try to talk to them before the 15th. And I'll explain why. So, on the 15th, Mercury will move into Taurus. And while that is really wonderful for certain areas of your life, I think it's probably better if you are the one who wants to pursue something to get that out of the way before Mercury moves into Taurus and we go into like super receptive mode, because everything's now flowing to us. So if there's something outwardly motivated, like you want to go talk to someone, you want to go do something, do that before the 15th. In general, love, relationships, flirtations, all of it, it just looks beautiful. There's so much good energy. There's so much good feeling between people. You'll notice that people who like have been holding things against you, or for a while it felt like everybody just was treating us badly, that period has ended, and we've continued to move forward so fast that maybe we didn't even notice for a little while. But this summer we really get a sense of peace. And you would think with so many transits through our sign that it would actually be very chaotic. But the reason it's not is because we're running across a lot of commonality. Like people have the same feelings for us that we have for them. We found some sweet spot where our input output is pretty balanced. And that's really cool, because usually one of our sides is more dominant depending on how we relate to stress, how we relate to trauma. Sometimes trauma brings out the really timid twin, and that one takes over and you end up feeling like a doormat in your life. That can happen because of trauma. Other time trauma brings out, the killer twin, and then that becomes your whole personality. But there are so many variations of that pendulum swing that we can encompass. And right now we're in that, again, that sweet spot where the way we feel about people is built on something. We've had time to think. We've had time where we were away from what we wanted, away from the people we wanted to be around, away from the person we want to be with. And it's given us that necessary time to be insightful, that generally, and this is a criticism that we often incur, that generally we don't take the time for. It's only when we don't get what we want and we're forced into a situation where we have to be introspective that we start to really deep things. And I think romance is one of them. And I think that we've thought about it quite a lot, devoid of like any person, just like the concepts. We've thought about them a lot. And I think after a long time, we've come to a conclusion that perhaps a lot of people around us will be really happy that we finally reached, which is that there is no attraction outside of good intentions. Like if the person doesn't have good intentions for you, it doesn't matter who they are, what they look like, what they're saying to you. If the intentions are not to build a lasting something with you, they're not good intentions. And I think for some signs, they're like, Virgo crosswatchers are like, wait, they're just figuring this out. Yeah, because for so many of us, we're very fly by the seat of our pants. We're very intuitive and capricious, and I think for us, love is a feeling more than it is a thought out concept, which is weird because we're supposed to be so cerebral. But it's not weird because there is an immediacy, to love, where you have to be in the moment with the person. That's, to me, so much of what being in love is, or when I can see two people are in love, what that really comes down to for me is that they're in the moment with each other all the time. They're always connected, whether they're across the room from each other. And you can always tell when a couple's not working out or is not going to work out, because they could be standing right next to each other and there's no communication, there's no synergy between them. So we really have gone off that for so long. You know, we understand the immediacy of connection. But I think now we've also understood what makes connections work long term, and I don't think we're willing to compromise on having them both. We want them both. We're like, oh cool, this is how this works. We want to do both of these things. We would like these in the same person. So that's what we're getting. Every prayer is answered. So if you are single and you are not interested at all in any of this, then I think that 3 of Cups and that 5 of Pentacles at the beginning of the reading is for you. Because the 3 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles is like, you know what, just heal. Just have a fun spring and summer. Do not think about people. Do not think about a connection. Do not think about love. Just heal from what you've just been through. If you've been through, you know, like an abusive relationship, an emotionally abusive relationship, physically abusive, both, I don't know, financially abusive, like, just heal. Just take the warm months coming up, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, the cold months coming up, cozy up, and just let yourself, what is it called, that thing that Libras do? Libras do this wonderful thing. You know what it is? It's like a self-preservation mode kicks in with Libras. If you push them too far, and they can go like all the way to doormat territory, so you really have to push. But if you push them too far, they will kind of like snap back into themselves and like start taking care of themselves and look like amazing 2 days later and start doing stuff and make new friends. And all of a sudden they have this like Libra bounce back once they feel like bouncing back is amazing. And right now, as long as you keep that like friendly, sweet, albeit direct tone with people, and you let yourself heal, you know, in that like beautiful Libra airy way where it's a concept, it's a makeover, it's a, I don't know why Clueless keeps coming to mind these days. It's time for you to be that fly and that happy and that excited about shit by yourself. Like, that was never dependent on that person. That person was never the reason. If anything, you looked way more fly before they came around, which is why they even came around. So like all of that, if you're going through that, just give yourself the spring and the summer to just allow all this good luck to come in. We have so much money luck coming in, mashallah. We have so much relational luck coming in, not just love, but also like friendships, business contacts. We're becoming quickly in a world that is totally information and content based. We're quickly becoming these very prized, insightful commentators in the world. And I think, you know, it's very smart for us to understand who we are in the scope of society. Like, that's what makes astrology so fun, is that you find your place and it fits and it gives you a sense of vindication. Like, I think I've mentioned this before, but when I found out that I'm a Leo moon in Vedic astrology, my entire world opened up, because there were so many things that I do that people would be like, you're not a Gemini, you don't act like a Gemini. And I'm like, yeah, Geminis aren't really that violent, are they? You know, because like in the wrong circumstance, right circumstance, like But then I read about Leo moons and I was like, oh my gosh, everything makes sense. So in the same way, you know, when we don't accept the best of us, it's really easy for others to discount that, even though they rely on it and they use it. The last thing anybody wants is for us to figure out that they're all waiting for us to think up the shit so they could go and repeat it. But what if we do realize that? What if we spend the summer seeing ourselves not as they tell us they see us, but as they really see us, which is given away by their actions, not their words. Because you can tell me over and over again that I'm tapped, that I'm this, that I'm that I'm too much, but you... Don't they all come to us for advice? No, because you're going to peep it before anybody else does. Yes. That's what you know, for the very low price of that's too much, she's tapped, that's so extra. It's hard to be tuned in. It's hard to be tuned in because people will dance all around that concept without actually saying it. People got no problem being like, now I'm just ranting, sorry. People have no problem being like, oh, Pisces are so tapped in, or like water signs are so mystical. We stay tapped in. We can't even be tapped in. We are the nerve. We are the live wire. You tap into the live wire. We are the wire. Like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you though. Love does have a tendency to take over the summer, but I love the kind of love where you don't want to fall in love and then it happens to you anyway. So just do that. It makes it come to you faster anyway. Just be like, I don't want this, go away. It works. Okay. And also it's healing to be like, no, you know, jump through the fucking hoops, bro. Like, hold on, give me a lighter. Let me light this shit on fire and then jump through it. Like, just keep saying no until, you know, you feel like it. And if you don't, just keep saying no. That in and of itself is a whole healing exercise. Because you're not going to stay inside. You need to be outside. You need to be having fun. You need to be healing. You need to be around your friends. You need to be around people who love you. And if you're like, I don't have any friends, okay, start going to a bookstore. Okay, take up a hobby. You know? I just started playing golf. I love it. Fill these cups, please. Please, fill them quickly because you can do it so quickly. You can do it so quickly and it will be so effective that this motherfucker, this one, this guy is going to show up at your door. You know why? Because your fucking cups are full and this motherfucker will... Healing is not a two-person job. Somebody got really mad at me on the internet like a few years ago because they were like, oh, you know, don't let people tell you that you shouldn't date until you're healed. A lot of my healing has happened with my new partner. And I was like, this is gross. Who the fuck is your new partner? Like, this motherfucker's a therapist now? Like, not like, okay, this motherfucker has no training. He has not done his clinicals. He does not have an hourly rate. And why are you using him? Like, what happened with you that you can't get over by yourself? Now, of course, a lot of people came out of the woodwork and they were like, there's nuance to this, there's this. What if it was because of this kind of trouble? Okay, fine. Cool. But I'm talking about this situation. I'm talking about the situation where you go through the trouble of healing yourself and then the person who couldn't jump through the hoops and just tried to take the hoops and was like, oh, if all I'm getting is the hoops, I'll take them. That person's like, oh, hi, you seem healed. You seem good. Are you good? You good? Fuck out of here. And just trust me now that this person wants all kinds of charity from you. Oh my God, the emotional charity work that somebody could get you to do this spring and summer if you are not careful, because all that healing energy surrounding you, remember, your Queen of Cups, all that receptive energy, which is healing energy, that's meant for you. It's meant for you to heal your spirit. It's meant for you to elevate. It's meant for you to be inspired and to inspire others. It's meant to charge you up. If you don't think that there is a POS out there who can't smell that energy and it's like, I need some of that healing energy. I could use that. Give me some. There are many, and they will take it from you if you let them. So if you do not feel like being in a relationship and you feel like being single right now, good, do it. Happy for you. But do not make the mistake of using that healing energy, that receptive energy that's bringing all the boys to the yard. Do not mistake that energy for something that you can share with other people, and especially not someone who shows up like, you know, a puppy out of the rain. No, this is for you. What do you do with it? Anything you want. Anything that makes you happy. Okay? So now we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, and the rest of the reading is going to be on Patreon. Also, one of the things that can happen, because of course, like, Jupiter's going to expand everything that is us. So to all this positivity, there is also another side. And the other side to this is that it's very easy to start secret relationships right now. It's very easy to come to terms with where you are and be like, I'm not ready for anything more than this, or I just want to keep it casual, or whatever it is. And you start something that's like untoward, unseemly, but it's like, seems like nothing. It seems like kind of casual. It's not casual. It can end up having huge consequences. You can end up losing a lot. You can end up being shamed. You can end up paying too high of a price. And like, it doesn't seem like you will. It starts so casually. It seems so safe. It seems so remote somehow. No one will know. But they will find out and you will get caught. So the consequences, especially mid-June, no. And what is it that puts you in that danger? Is if you're cavalier about connections, whether they're unseemly or not, whether they're out in the open or they're quite secretive. If you are casual about encounters, about relationships, about people's feelings right now, that karma is going to whip back and hit you real fast. So for some of you, you know, that's a comeuppance. For some of you, that's payment for behavior that's been going on for quite a long time. And what is it all rooted around? Oh, Mars. Mars is just in Aries, lighting the entire zodiacal wheel on fire. And all of us have some Martian trait that it's like energizing, you know? Taurus wants to run through everyone with their horns. You know, how do I say this? We kind of sometimes, once in a while, not all, we like the intrigue. I'm not going to say too much because I do not condone this behavior. But I will say it like this. How wonderful would it be to take that electrified Mars energy from it being at home, and then from the beginning, from now until May 23rd, Venus is home in Taurus, right? How beautiful would it be if you spend the first 3 weeks of May, apparently that's the only word I have an accent, is 3. I can 3. But what if you spent the first 3 weeks of May visualizing and creating the opportunities, imposing that onto the crystalline structure of your brain, of this hologram, of this reality. And then you let Jupiter come in, meet with Venus, meet with the sun. You got Uranus pushing from behind, you know, there's only chaos back here. Move forward. What if we spent 3 weeks not fucking around at all, having a good time, keeping our spirits up really high, and doing the energetic work of seeing every opportunity that we want Jupiter to come in and create and magnify? We have this God-given free will to create it. Jupiter energy magnifies and kind of concretizes those opportunities into this structure and makes them come to you quickly, There is a quickness here. Things can happen. You think it happens. You think it happens because there's so much running through us. And if you've been thinking for a while now, there's too much on my back. Like if you've been feeling like Atlas a bit. I was reading a poem the other day about the South Asian mothers, grandmothers, the maternal lines being so very much like Atlas. And sometimes you don't even know you're gonna cry, and so the tears are like super fucking hot. Tears started pouring down my face, and I thought, oh shit, I have always kind of felt like there was a lot on my fucking back, bro. Like, yeah, I've been carrying a lot. And I think that this summer is a liberation for Geminis in general from that feeling. We get to pass, the globe over to Hercules for a little while and go fuck around and run around. I'm not saying you won't have to pick it back up, but maybe your shoulders will be a little bit straighter when you do. Everybody needs some time off. And, it's better than being fucking Prometheus. Because every one of us has met a Prometheus, This motherfucker never stops crying. He's gorgeous, he's hot, but like every day he doesn't have a liver. Anyway. What are all those opportunities that you can think up that would take more and more off your back? What are those opportunities that you can think up and impose onto this interface that could really relieve the pressure off of you? How big can you think? Jupiter wants to know. And if you challenge it in a psalm, we say that God is shy to deny your requests. The bigger your request, the bigger God's ambition to fulfill it. Ask with your visualizations. Believe in what you see. Believe it because you could handle it when it happens. And then prepare yourself, because the energy is moving so fast that the things that will fulfill you, the things that will nourish you, career and money and the extended coming up, they're right here. They're moving quick. This isn't a long, drawn out process of fulfillment. This is all happening quickly. Mashallah, mashallah. Okay. In the extended, I have 4 more pages of notes. We'll talk career and money. More career and money. More career and money. And then physical health. Okay. All right. I love you. I will see you in the extended, which you can access below through Patreon by becoming a member. Links below. Or on Vimeo, or through a PayPal link, which will send the reading straight to your email. And there's also a link below for personal readings that looks something like this. Okay. Love you. Happy early birthday to the May Geminis, including me. We made it. Baby, we made it.